Welcome, everyone, to episode 24 of Community Chronicles, a DDPY community video interview series. My name is Anthony Vignes, and my guest today, Garden City, Michigan's own, a member of the 2022 Positively Unstoppable Challenge, a grandma, Brenda Bevil. Welcome, Brenda.
Hi, everybody.
I had to tell you she's a grandma because you wouldn't believe it to look at her. So I pulled Brenda in because I've always just kind of dug her vibe. She put some cool stuff out there, and she's got a real cool story to tell. So, Brenda, why don't you start us off with just kind of the Cliff Notes version of what brought you to DDPY and what the program has done for you since?
So what brought me to DDPY is I got aplastic anemia. I wanted to do what I can on my own to make myself as healthy as I can while I'm battling like this disease. At first, I couldn't do a lot of the workouts. So DDPY with the bed flex, that helped so much. And then I read the Positively Unstoppable book and his nutrition, ideas. And I just want to do everything I can on my own with, the doctor's help to get myself healthy, because I want to live a long time to be with my granddaughter.
Yeah, I mean, what better reason would there be to stick around? So let's dive into that aplastic anemia. Anybody who's read your post has probably seen that term pop up before, but maybe they're not familiar with it. Do you want to give us a little bit of a rundown of what that condition is and kind of what?
Yeah, so a lot of people think that they hear anemia and they think that I need an iron supplement or something like that, and that would take care of it, and that would be perfect if that was the case. But aplastic anemia is a rare bone marrow failure. So your bone marrow is what makes your blood, and your organs need blood to survive. So all my levels were very critically low. Like my hemoglobin was like a 6. My platelets where they should be, like your hemoglobin should be around 13. Mine was 6. So it was way low on blood. Your platelets should be around like 150 and above, and mine were 12. So like you risk bleeding. Your white blood counts down also to critical levels, so you can't protect yourself from infections. And it could end up, you could bleed out, or an infection could take you out pretty much. And 1 in a million people get aplastic anemia a year. So it's very rare.
Well, you are 1 in a million, right? We can't dispute that.
Yeah, I was hoping lottery winners, but not, special disease winners.
So how did that onset? How did you find out that you had aplastic anemia?
Well, I was very, very tired and fatigued a lot, to the point where I was doing somebody's nails, and I'm like, I just fell asleep while I was doing your nails. She's like, that's weird. You were talking to me. But I totally was out, and I woke up and I'm like, oh my God, I just passed out on my client. Like something's not right. I was bringing the groceries in one day, and you know how like when you're trying to not make so many trips back and forth, you just load them all up on your arms. Well, I had bruises all down my arms from the groceries, and they weren't that heavy. So something wasn't right. I talked to my doctor. He said, come in, we'll do a CBC. We did a CBC. He actually came to my home to let me know that I'm not crazy, that something's very wrong, and he's going to do everything in his power to get a hematologist, oncologist to look at me. And I got in like within the week, and bone marrow biopsy, and they told me that I had aplastic anemia. I was like, thank God it's not cancer, but it kind of is. So.
Yeah, it seems like it. So what's the treatment for aplastic anemia?
So the treatment is ATG, which is like kind of they either get it from a horse or a rabbit, and it's a 4-day drip. It's kind of like, I don't know, regenerating your bone marrow, and it holds back your T cells, because my T cells attack my bone marrow. So our T cells are supposed to help us fight off infections and bacteria, and mine thinks my bone marrow is an intruder, and it fights that. So ATG, along with this drug called cyclosporin, which is immune therapy, and Promacta. I was on cyclosporin for 4 years. I just got off of it months ago, actually, and I have to credit that to doing the DDPY program. Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, awesome. I was going to say that, we a lot of people who are facing a lot of, usually it's joint related issues or muscular issues, like to use a phrase that the motion is lotion, that just kind of doing something with your body, no matter what it is, kind of helps relieve a lot of that inflammation, a lot of the pain.
Right.
And what, for you, what has been the, I guess, the most gratifying part? What's DDPY done for you from a physical standpoint?
From a physical, I've lost weight and inches, so yay. But I think it's more here that it's helped me with. Or staying positive, living life in the 90s. And yeah, I got a crazy diagnosis that could, kill me. But I chose to stay positive and know that I'm going to be all right. And I just do everything that I can to be all right.
Cool.
And if I do ever get a dire result, I know that I can handle it.
Good. Yeah, building that mental strength.
Yeah.
And then I mentioned, that you're participating this year in the Positively Unstoppable Challenge. Did the same thing last year, right? You were around in last year's community. What's different this time around? What are you doing differently?
Last year I didn't finish. I don't know. I just kind of got in my head. Some of the workouts were too hard for me, and because I want to be like everybody else. I want to be able to push it to the max, and my body, unfortunately, with the aplastic anemia, it's weaker, so it doesn't let me do that. And I kind of got defeated and bummed out. But this year, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to do what I can do. And because if I do too hard of a workout, it takes me out for 3 days. If I do a more gentle workout, I can do a gentle workout every day. So I have to remember that I'm competing against myself, not everybody else. I'm cheering everybody else on because I want everybody to win.
Yes, you nailed it. You got it. You got it figured out, right? It's really hard not to compare ourselves to others, and it's really hard to not want to do what everybody else is doing. But they're not doing it with your body, and they're not doing it with your life challenges, your schedule, your mental, emotional struggles. They're doing them, and I think that I kind of avoid referring to this Positively Unstoppable Challenge as a contest, because in a contest, I see you competing against other people, right? There's a first, second, third, fourth, and there may be at the end. But this is a challenge. This is a challenge put forth to those of us participating to be our best us. And so only compare your story against your story. So where were you when you started? Where were you when you ended up? And what did you do to get there? Don't worry about what that lady or that guy over there is doing.
Right.
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with you. And we're all here to kind of raise each other up, motivate, inspire each other. So take that for what it is. And the more you put into it, the more you'll get out of it. And don't ever compare yourself to someone else, because it doesn't really do anything.
Because in my brain, though, I'm like, I could do that. I know I can do that. But my body's like, I don't think so.
Yes, there's a lot of things out there that I can do, but can and should are two different things. Where I've got into this thing where it's like, well, yeah, I could do a headstand. I did a headstand. Then I couldn't walk, with my head all the way up for like 3 days afterwards. It's like, oh yeah, you could do that, but you probably shouldn't do that. Not until you're ready, So it's hard to not look at the cool stuff that you see other people doing, or the challenging stuff, and say, well, I'm a badass, I'll do it too. But you got to listen to you. So I'm glad that you've. So
I've learned that this time around, and I'm just doing like every day something. I'm just keeping it moving.
That's perfect. That's all we can ask is do what you can, because you'd much rather be able to do something, 5 to 7 days out of the week than 1 or 2, because you're recuperating from the overwork that you did at the beginning of the week. And with the condition that you have to deal with, it's extremely it's even more important for you to listen to your body.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm happy to hear that you made some adjustments and understood that we can't hold ourselves to the same yardstick as everybody else. We're all measuring something different. So,
Right.
right. Well, awesome. What do you say, Brenda? You want to do some rapid fire questions?
Sure.
Okay, I put a few together here. Some new ones here that never before seen on Community Chronicles. So I'm looking forward to this. Remember that just instinctual answers. There is no right or wrong. I can't say we won't judge you. People judge. All right. So if it's real silly, someone might say so. But let's start out here with what's something embarrassing you do when no one's looking?
Oh, I don't even know. I don't know. I really don't know.
Oh, well, I got
Talk
something.
to
I mean,
myself, maybe. Talk to myself.
Yeah, I do that. I don't get embarrassed by it. I wouldn't if someone was watching. But you know, I dance every once in a while in ways that I wouldn't in front of other people. But what is something that you are weirdly good at that, like, no people wonder, well, why is that worth being good at?
I could tie the stem of a cherry in a knot with my tongue. That's weird, and I can do that.
Awesome. I can't do that. Let's see here. What would your customers say is their favorite thing about you?
My kindness.
Perfect. What makes you feel most empowered?
When I can complete a position in the DDPY like workouts that I couldn't normally do. So yes, that makes me feel pretty badass.
Absolutely. What puts you in a bad mood?
Not nice people. People that are just not nice.
And what would you do if you were to win the lottery tomorrow, like we talked about?
I would donate a lot of money to Carmano's Cancer Center because they saved my life. And I would buy a few DDPY apps for people to get to know this because it's really a great program that saved my life, I do believe.
Paying it back and paying it forward. I dig it.
Yeah.
Name a book that you've read more than once.
Positively Unstoppable. That's the only book I've read more than once.
Well, that was an easy one. And then what was your favorite toy as a kid?
My favorite toy was a little like mechanical dog. It like barked. It was cute.
Did yours do backflips?
No, it just like walked forward and barked.
Cool. We had one that went.
It was the 70s, so it was like.
Yeah, I was a decade or so later. So they upgraded. All right. So what is the worst advice you've ever received?
I'm not very rapid, am I? I'm sorry. The worst.
Oh no! If you're ever self-conscious, go back and watch episode 21 with Bruce Nelson. He literally set the bar so low you could stumble and fall over it. I clocked his rapid fire round at somewhere around 9.5 minutes.
Oh wow! I don't know. Like my mom always. Like working so much and not living life. I think that was like my mom always like, you got to work. You should be working. And yeah, working too much and not living life. I think that like stresses you out and you need to live some life.
Exactly. I can relate. And what is the best advice you've ever received?
Live in the 90. Like life is, 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you handle it. And that is the absolute truth.
That's great. Well, you survived. See, in record time compared to some.
Yay!
And I just want to say, Brenda, that kind of knowing that you're not used to doing stuff like this, that if I have any right to be, I'm proud of you for putting yourself out there and agreeing to do this, because that's what we're trying to do here with this little project is taking the folks that maybe aren't in the spotlight all the time and highlighting them for the community, so we can all kind of get to know about each other and establish some common ground. So I think you did an awesome job. So congratulations on that.
Thank you so much.
And one other thing that we ask our guests to do here on Community Chronicles is pick a member of the DDPY community that you think deserves a little bit of recognition, and tell us why.
I'm going to have to say Jackie Miller, because when I didn't know how to do something, she reached out to me, and she actually told me that because I didn't finish the challenge last year, I didn't submit my stuff. I finished the challenge, but I never submitted my stuff because I'm not technologically, smart. But she said that if she has to drive here to Michigan, she will make sure that I finish. And yeah, she wants to help everybody, and she's just the sweetest thing. So yeah, Jackie Miller.
I'm down with that. I love Jackie Miller's videos every once in a while too.
Oh my gosh, she's hilarious.
Yeah, particularly the one I remember is the one where she's pretending to do a forward fold, and then she takes her shoes away, and she was just holding her shoes up by her feet. And I laughed out loud at that one. So Jackie Miller, we see you, we hear you, keep doing what you're doing. So Brenda, there's only one more thing that we ask our guests to do here, and that's give us a bang to shut her down.
All right. Bang.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Don't forget to do this tomorrow. Peace.
Thank you.
Perfect.